Okay, we're live. Hey everybody, what's going on? Classic Game Freak here with Retarded by Choice is the co-host tonight of the broadcast, the nameless broadcast. What's up,
Yeah.
Retarded? What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot, sir. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Good,
Uh,
good, good.
man, this whole broadcast was sort of a spur of the moment type thing, and I felt that we had to talk about something, me and whomever, and I was actually hoping I'd get you to, respond to your Facebook message, I was just frantically trying to say, hey, let's just film this. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm always on Facebook. Even if I'm not even on or doing anything, I'm always on.
I was kind of hoping so because we hadn't exchanged phone numbers or anything like that, and I was just like, oh man, I wish we had. I don't know why we haven't yet. We've been friends for a few months now, and
Yeah, since at least January.
yeah, it's been a little bit. So, um, anyway, just a lot going on with gaming here this week. E3
Yes,
coming
sir.
Monday. It's already here.
I mean, it just sneaks up on you real quick, like.
Yeah, it really does. Like it just seems like it was only a couple months ago that I was sitting there in the kitchen watching, all the coverage from last year's, and I don't know about you, but I didn't almost get up from my computer during the reveals.
Yeah, I was about one Coke away from having a bottle right next to me, so I had to get up and go to the bathroom.
God. Well, anyway, we've got some more info, and I wanted to kind of talk about this. I got a few things for us to go over, and like I said, I thought what better person than to have you on here, and we could talk about it a little bit. I see you on the Xbox all the time, so
My Xbox.
loving that Borderlands 2, right?
Oh, sir, I can't get enough of the Borderlands 2. I'm just a little sad that the next Borderlands installment is not going to be on this gen, and it's going to be on the next gen.
Yeah.
Because from what I've been reading about the Xbox One, I am not a all aboard is going aboard, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, Xbox One is a PR nightmare here lately.
Mm.
Uh, did you actually watch the reveal or get a chance to watch any of it or?
I actually did not watch any of the reveal. I wanted to kind of just let them do their thing, then go in afterward, kind of like a Trojan horse, and just get my hands on this little bit nugget and that nugget, and just get a consensus that way. And when they released like the way they did, it just to me it sounded like they just want to be not the first out of the gate, not the last out of the gate, but be the middle ground, you know, kind of like how the Xbox 360 was first out of the gate last was it beginning of this gen, and they just fumbled so hardcore. So I think they're waiting to see who got out first and go from there. But a lot of the stuff they have offered, I did not care for. And then after reading today's announcement, I'm seriously considering waiting at least a year before I purchase any of the new gen systems out there.
Makes sense. It seems like every time a next gen console comes out, you got the big three, you got Nintendo, you got Sony, you got Microsoft.
Yep.
Every time they come out with something, it always fails. The first batch always seems there's something that goes horribly wrong. And with Microsoft and Xbox 360, it was the dreaded Red Ring of Death. They had
Yes.
problems with that for what, like 3 years?
Yeah, yeah. I was a victim of that red ring myself twice.
3 times personally.
See, that's 5 times between two guys. That's not good.
Yeah. And you know what I liked about the whole thing with the Xbox is when they brought the Slim out, they went on to say, well, you can't get the red ring of death on this one. And it was like, well, why? Well, we don't have any red lights in this one. That was kind of a
Yeah,
cop out, you know?
it's a big cop out, but it's also very honestly true.
Very true. Hey, they didn't lie. They just
No,
went about it a different way.
they, they showed you their left hand while they're like stealing from the right.
Yeah, for real. You know, I'm not grabbing a cookie, you know, while their hands in the cookie jar.
Look, the Goodyear balloon.
Yeah, look over there. Whatever, you know.
Mm.
But you know, like Nintendo, they came out last year, late last year with the Wii U, and like I
Mm.
was like, okay,
Yeah,
you know, there's their next gen. To me, I always think that the first one to release a console is always kind of the one to get the short end of the stick, simply because they've laid their cards out on the table. You know, it's like, okay, here's what we got. What do you guys have? And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, Xbox, they did the reveal and left so much stuff up in the air, and it was all about, you know, oh well, we want this to be one entertainment box. We want it to be, you know, your TV, your fantasy football, your movies, internet browsing all in one, and it was like, well, does this thing play video games? You know?
Right. They tiptoed and danced around that issue. They're like, look, it can do this. Look, it does that. Oh, you can pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah. Can it play games? Well, we're getting to that. We're getting to that.
We'll talk about that in the next hour.
Yeah. Well, what really cracks me up is, does it play video games? You're asking them, does it play video games? And they're like, well, here's a 10-minute clip about Call of Duty. Well, okay. You're giving us not even a reveal for an Xbox exclusive or anything. What you're giving us is a popular franchise that's going to be on all three of the consoles more than likely, and the PC. Does it play games? Thanks for watching. You know.
It plays Blu-rays.
Yeah, we finally got Blu-ray. What do you think of that?
5 years later.
Yeah, but you know, here's what I'm seeing a lot of, and what I'm seeing a lot of is, I mean, there's so much bashing on the Xbox One, and that's simply because they've really just screwed it up. Maybe they're just marketing wrong. Maybe they're just showing it the wrong way. Perhaps it is a good piece of hardware, but the thing is everybody's so quick to say, "Oh, Xbox One sucks. I'm going for PS4," when Sony has yet to even show the PlayStation 4. Like, yeah, they've given us a list of some games that are going to be out, but we don't even know what the PlayStation 4 is going to do yet. Is it going to follow suit with Microsoft? You know, if it does, you know, a lot of people are going to be Nintendo happy again, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned PS4 because in the latest Game Informer, it's all about the PS4, and it doesn't really go into a lot of detail exactly what the PS4 is going to be hardware-wise. Everyone is, you know, assuming it's got the Blu-ray, assuming it's going to be top-notch PlayStation typical fodder and whatnot, but it doesn't really go into a whole lot about the system itself.
Yeah, for Sony, mum's the word here lately, and I mean, I think it's got everybody. I think we're kind of divided. Half the people are excited, and the other half are nervous, or perhaps we're all excited and just nervous, you know, because, you know, gaming. It's almost like, where's the gaming? You know, we don't want to see PlayStation do the same thing as Microsoft and say, hey, you know, this thing can play movies and TV while you're playing your fantasy football. You know.
Well, the thing is this current generation of gaming, the PS3, the 360, the Nintendo Wii/Wii U, it came at a time where everyone was getting their multimedia from somewhere, where you actually had hard drives on your system to where you can download and save things. You can get download packs. You can play your MP3 players through your systems and create your own playlist. So this current generation kind of opened the door to where it's not just your mom and dad's NES. It's now a piece of media in your living room where Susie can watch her One Direction band shit, and Bob he can watch the newest Avenged Sevenfold video, and Dad can play his fantasy football or whatnot, and somewhere in there someone's playing a video game.
Yeah, hopefully. To me, I don't know. It sounds like video gaming is getting lost in translation. Like, it's like, well, we want to make sure that this is your one stop for complete entertainment, but at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, it plays video games too.
It's been shown a video game once.
Yeah. You thought it played video games? Nah. That's what we used to do.
No, it's not true anymore. Video games for kids. We're a multimedia center now.
Yeah. And that's been the biggest problem with everybody. Like, I mean, I've seen all on Facebook. Oh, where did I go? Oh, I got a picture of me now. Fantastic. You able to see me on here?
I got you. No, I see you. You're
okay.
Moving and everything.
Oh, okay. It showed just a picture. So, but let me see what I got written down here and see if we can't go further with this.
Okay.
So today, Xbox kind of laid it down a little bit as to two of the biggest concerns with the Xbox. One was the internet. Like, are you going to have to stay connected with the internet? And then bigger one was used games. And
right.
Like you were saying before we started broadcasting that you found out where you were reading it on where?
I read it on time.com.
Time. Yeah, for me, it was actually through Yahoo, surprisingly, and it was on Forbes' website that the Xbox One is going to need an internet connection within every 24 hours to be able to just play games, right? Like, you can still watch movies and you can still do all of that, but you won't be able to play video games. And I'm assuming that's because of the licensing, right, on the games?
They didn't really go into a whole lot of detail. Basically, what I have is you can play games offline up to 24 hours on your console, or if it's a peer-to-peer thing, like if you're at a friend's house, then it's only 1 hour. Then you have to be connected to the web for it to basically verify that you are playing a legal version of said game. So you technically don't need to be on the internet, but you have to have internet, because after 24 hours without a web connection, you got basically a very expensive piece of software.
Yeah.
That's what I gathered from that, and yeah, that's what I got down too.
So I don't know. There's still surprisingly people without the internet. So it's like people like that. I mean, you're going to waste your money. You want to go and play one of these on here. You're going to waste your money because you're not going to be able to play these games. You're going to need to get that internet.
Right, exactly. And it's great to have the internet for your system, so you can do like system updates, game updates. Because I know from personal experience, games like Fallout are notorious for day one bug crashing. So to have a connection to your 360 or whatever, to get those updates, is pivotal. I mean, or you're gonna have a $60 game that you can't play. But now for situations like, for me, I don't really do a lot of online gaming. I have the 360, it's connected to the internet always for my updates, but I don't play multiplayer games online. So my Xbox my Xbox account is a free one. It's not the gold. Because I don't play multiplayer games. I don't do challenges like that. So excuse me. So I do miss out on a lot of the achievements are web-based only. but that's fine with me. I don't need to be on the net to play and have fun with these games. Whereas on this new system, it is a requirement. Yes, you can play offline for 24 hours, but after that 24 hours, you can't even play the game. You can't even boot up to the system.
Exactly, and that's one thing that I don't know. It almost feels like they took it from the gamer. It's like, well, you have to have that internet. You like single player games? Well, that's fine. You can play single player all day, but connect the thing to an online connection first, and then we'll talk. That's SimCity all over again. I don't know if you had heard anything about the DRM on SimCity on the PC and that disaster.
Yeah, I read about that, and I remember seeing a video about that too.
I actually bought the game a little bit after it came out, and the servers were just a mess. Like, there was times you couldn't connect at all, and it's like, we're sorry, try back in 20 minutes. The countdown timer would get down to like that last minute, and then it would start all over again. Go back to 20 minutes, and it was frustrating because you're like, well, I don't want to play with anybody. I want to get on there. I want to build my own city on my own. Why should I be online? And it's simply because these developers are afraid you're going to pirate their game. Oh, they're losing so much money by pirating games. Or because of pirating games.
Right. Yeah, so, I understand that. I understand wanting to protect your intellectual property and all that, but where do you draw the line? I mean, are you going to make it to where in order to just even play a demo of a game, you have to be online, registered to the server, and registered to the company's website and all that, get updates to their newsletters and their emails? Mm-hmm. I mean, where does the line stop?
And you're exactly right. It's funny because I don't even think it'll stop here. I think they're still going to find ways to keep us 100% connected. Because, I mean, you think about it right now, it's okay. Once every 24 hours, you get it connected, it updates, you're good to go. But on what generation is it going to be when you have to be 100% connected? Big Brother's right there the entire time, watching everything you do at every second you're on.
Yeah, and that's another point. Also, in the same article, they mentioned that you, with the Kinect that comes with the Microsoft Xbox One, it's continuously on. The video and the microphone is on all the time. Now they say that they say it's because it's waiting for what's the command word, Xbox on.
Yeah.
Is waiting for that command, but it's still picking up whatever ambient noises are going on in the background. So who's not to say Microsoft's not trolling or whatnot?
Yeah, it's to me kind of like the Siri on iPhone. Everything that you say to Siri is going back to Apple on a database and is being recorded, and that's another big concern, as you said, on a lot of people's minds about what the Kinect is watching, what it's listening to, and so on. I mean, it's no longer privacy in your own home.
True. Yep. That's what a lot of people have been talking about too. From what I've seen online, people are actually very concerned about what exactly the Kinect is doing when it's not on, but it's still on. People are wondering what kind of things are getting reported back, or what kind of things it's maybe even listening into, Big Brother style,
Yeah, and that's one reason why I don't even have my Kinect hooked up now. And a matter of fact, it hasn't been in months, and it's sitting on the floor and behind me. It's just, what is it listening to? What is it not? So.
Right. Yeah, my Kinect is in the back of my Xbox right now, but it's not connected. It's just sitting back there.
Yeah, for me, I don't know about you, but like with it connected, it took my Xbox longer to boot up, and just it became a headache too. So it was a very kind of novelty item when it first came out.
Yeah, but I like it. I don't use it that much. My daughter uses it more than I do, but it's fun. I think it's kind of a neat take on the motion detection software and programs out there. I definitely like it better than the Wii did. Because I had the Wii right within the first year it came out, and I really didn't care for it.
The
But now
Wii,
that
the original Wii.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I wasn't a big fan. My wife, she liked it. Um, I just couldn't get into the whole, this thing. Now when it's a
Exactly.
whole body thing's not too bad. It's kind of interesting, but eh, eh,
The
I
jogging
don't.
was the worst. Anytime you did anything that required like jogging, you were kind of doing this, and I don't know. That just
It's very
not.
suggestive.
Yeah, yeah. You're sitting there playing with your Wii. It's just. No, no. But yeah, my wife and I actually had bought a Wii as well, and that's the only thing that her and I agreed on. After a little while, it's like, I just sell it. We're not messing with it. It's just not that fun.
No, if you're 8 years old, it's great. If you're
Yeah.
30, not so much.
No, no. Very true. I had played it. I was real excited for the Monster Hunter that came out on it, and even that, the controllers just didn't ever feel right, and just nah.
Now with the Wii though, I thought it was pretty cool that you could play just about every GameCube game on the Wii.
Yeah, that backwards compatibility was nice, I will admit. So,
But the only problem with that, I think, is finding GameCube games out in the wild.
yeah. Here, let me shut this. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, game like that backwards compatibility on GameCube games and so on. I will admit that was cool. Even whenever I first saw the Wii, and I actually wanted one after it first came out. I didn't even know it was backwards compatible. I didn't know you could play GameCube games, and I had ran into one and saw the plugs in the top for the GameCube controllers. And I was like, wait a minute here, does it really?
Yeah, it was a nice feature. I liked it. But with it being a feature, a lot of people kept their GameCube games, and so finding them out in the wild at thrift stores or pawn shops is very slim.
Yeah, yeah. So, that I will admit that was great, because there was a few GameCube games I had wanted to play, and that gave me the chance to really. I had never wanted, I never ran into a GameCube back whenever it was still, producing games and things like that. So,
Oh, so you never had a GameCube? You were kind of going into it from the backward compatibility. I can't talk tonight. So you got into GameCube games through the backward compatibility of the Wii because you didn't have the GameCube before.
yeah, yeah. So it gave me the chance to try, the Metal Gear Twin Snakes and things like that. So, I was real happy about that. Try out the remake of Resident Evil and so on. So that was cool.
Yeah, those are good remakes. I really thoroughly enjoyed them. I thought they were better on the GameCube than they were on the PS2.
Yeah. Well, they had gone back and refined some of the graphics and so on, and especially Metal Gear. Didn't they add just a little bit to Twin Snakes and so on?
I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't really a big Metal Gear Solid fan back in the day,
Gotcha.
but I believe you're right that they did do that.
So for me, I've been a big Metal Gear fan ever since it was out on Nintendo. So for me, it was a big deal.
Right.
So
I think the one game I did play was it was on the PlayStation 1.
the
No, 2.
Metal Gear
The
Solid.
Sons of Liberty.
Oh, 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
That one.
I played that.
That one, I don't know. That one I had a problem with back when it came out.
Oh yeah.
Well, you couldn't play a snake. It was Raiden, and he was just kind of a whiny wimp.
Yeah, yeah. But at the time, I mean, that was some good graphics. I mean, I remember seeing that game going, wow, that's a lot better looking than a lot of the games that are currently on the system.
Yeah, like watching a movie. I mean, there was so many cinematics and just so much of a story to follow too. So it was very, just everything had to be on par really with each other. The graphics, the storytelling, the sound, all of that. And they produced a pretty good game though, even though the main character wasn't a popular one.
Right, right. But a lot of franchises do that. Resident Evil, they alternate who the main antagonist is throughout the whole entire history of the game. One time you might be Leon, next time you might be, not Leon. No, not Leon.
Not Leon. Right. I remember that character. He was pretty badass.
Right, right.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. The franchises. Well, you see, I think that's what keeps it fresh too. Really, is changing up the characters a little bit. You know, if you're going to make a sequel, change up the character. Sometimes it's good keeping it fresh. There's other times you want to play that character, like with the latest Metal Gears. They've really focused on Big Boss, and like I was thinking about it yesterday. I think there's more games now in the Metal Gear canon about Big Boss than there is actually Solid Snake. It's crazy.
Yeah, it works out that way sometimes. Sometimes they find that a secondary character is more popular than the first intentional character, i.e. Snake.
Yeah.
But not everyone's different. Some people are like, "Oh, this is better now. It's got so and so in it." And other people are like, "Well, I like so and so."
Yeah.
It'd be like a James Bond movie that didn't focus on James Bond. He's like walked in the scene at a cantina or something, or a Star Wars movie without Han Solo. It doesn't work.
Yeah, very true. So, back at the, let's talking a little bit about the Xbox. We're getting off on some awesome topics here, actually. Hey,
we're on some tangents.
Heck yeah, and the way I see it, that's just for future shows too. Just keep on talking.
Yeah.
But so the other thing, which I'm still kind of confused on, I was trying to make some sense of it, and I looked at 3 or 4 different sources, and they were talking about the used games, on how the used games were going to work, and maybe you can make a little bit more sense of it than I can, but from what I gathered on it was like, the Microsoft themselves are not gonna lock the game. They're not making profit from used games, so they're not gonna lock them or anything. But the publishers can decide whether or not they're locked off as far as traded games go, used games go, and something about like you can't lend out a game to a friend. Instead, you would have to like gift it to them. I don't know. Maybe you can make some more sense on that.
Yeah, I read that both on Time.com, and I also went over to IGN and got a little bit more information about that too. But the Time article piece seemed to be a little bit more in-depth and more informational about what that entails. Basically, Microsoft is not going to charge us as consumers any fees for trading in games. It is solely up to the publisher. The publisher will say, okay, you bought this EA game. You can only trade it in at Best Buy. That's the only place that you're allowed to trade it in at. You try to take it to GameStop, they will kick it back. So you go up to your Best Buy, trade it in. They might only give you $8 for a brand new EA game. And from the $8, of course, EA gets a kickback because Best Buy is the authorized dealer of used EA games. So they got that going on. The other thing was, like I said, the sharing. You can only share a game to a friend who's in your friends list, and they have to be a friend on your friends list for at least 30 days.
That's right.
If they're someone who you might have known for dozens of years, but you haven't put onto your friends list until recently, they have to wait that probationary 30-day courtship. Then with that though, you buy a game. So you go out and buy the newest Tom Clancy game, whatever it may be. You go, you buy it, it's yours. You play it to death. You're done with it. Your friend's like, hey, can I borrow that? You say, nope, you can't borrow it, but I can give it to you. So you give it to them, but once you give that game to them, they are the end-all, be-all owner of that game. They can never, ever, ever lend that to anyone else ever again. It can never be gifted out to anyone else. And they're saying that there may be a problem with that come Christmas time, that someone buys the game and then gifts it to, Billy Bob, Joe, Sue Bob, Danny,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, the game sucks, I don't want it. They can't do anything with it. They're the end-all, be-all.
Oh wow. See, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But that part is purely speculation. The part about the lending, that is 100%. You buy a game, you're going to give it out one time, and no one else can ever give that out ever again. But like I said, the Christmas part, they're not sure how that's going to work just yet, because that is going to be a big issue come holiday season. That's where the industry does most of their profits, is during Black Friday all the way up until January 1st of the following year.
Yeah. Oh man. It sounds like they're getting themselves just into a big mess. I don't know. We've dabbled in used games for so many years ever since. I mean, you think about it. I mean, renting Nintendo games and all that. I mean, they're even saying right now that you won't be able to rent any games or anything like that because they have nothing in place for that. Like they don't have any service for that right now.
Right, because basically what it is every person who's got an Xbox One is like that. Xbox One is their Xbox One. So if, say, you go to your local Blockbuster, they're not around anymore, your local Blockbuster rents a game for the Xbox One, take it home, it's not going to work because either Blockbuster is the only owner of that game, or the first person to have rented that game will be the end-all, be-all user of that game. So it's going to be a bit of an issue because, like, this is like GameFly. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Their whole purpose of being is renting games where you can keep a game like Skyrim for 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about like GameFly and so on. They've got to be kind of crapping themselves by now. Like, oh, what are we gonna do? Are we just gonna be renting out for the Wii U?
They're very limited. But you know what? If Sony, if they play their cards right, if they say, okay, you know what, we're open. You can buy, you can rent, you can trade, you can sell, whatever you want to do with these games. They will get a lot of people coming from the Xbox side over to the PlayStation side because of the fact that they can take their game, play it to death, trade it in for a newer game, and not have to worry about all the headaches like, do I own this, or does Jimmy own this, or
yeah.
This is too much. A lot of people are going to probably jump ship if Microsoft does do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually talking with, of all people, my father-in-law earlier about it, and we were talking about the game crash back in the 80s, and like we were talking about the mainly like if there wasn't a game crash today, and this could be a first sign of a dang next gen game crash. If PlayStation 4 follows suit with that, Nintendo's going to be left. At least Nintendo will play used games and so on. But yeah, you're exactly right. I think the same thing. If Microsoft continues to do this, if they say, well, you everything that you've been saying. PlayStation 4, like people don't even consider Nintendo an option. There's so many people that I've seen that's just like, which one do you want? Do you want the Xbox or do you want the PlayStation? So
well,
I think more people's going to jump to the PlayStation 4 than even Nintendo or whatever. But I mean, those two are going to get the business.
You know how Nintendo is, and Nintendo has always been and always will be, going garnered toward the younger generation, the tweens and below. They're the Nintendo's bread and butter because they are first party and they are mostly eat for every way. So, Grandpa doesn't have to know a single thing about the game as long as it doesn't have violent content. Billy's gonna be happy because he's like, "He got a Nintendo game. I got Mario." So,
And you always feel. I'm assuming maybe it makes the parents feel a little cuddly and soft. Those powder blue boxes for them. Oh, this game ain't gonna be violent,
It's got a squishy little marshmallow man on the front.
Yeah, Nintendo. At least I will admit that they haven't done any of this stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. To me, the Wii U is still very underpowered compared to even well, not underpowered. They're just not using the power they have to make games like what the Xbox 360 is making and the PS4 or PS3 is making, and or a lot of the stuff they could be making. I mean, I've been hearing rumors of a possible Zelda game, and if they do that, they may pick up some sales.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo's always got their initial fan base. Plus, they got their cast of characters. They have Mario. They have Zelda. They have Metroid. They have all these big powerhouse names that even if you've never played a video game in your life, you know who Mario is.
Oh yeah.
Name recognition. So Nintendo is never gonna have to. Their sales are not going to be as good because of the product they have out now. But between the 3DS and their powerhouse name brand characters, they'll be okay. They might not be number 1 or number 2, but they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, whereas Xbox, if they go in the direction they're saying they're going to go, they're going to find themselves in the same boat that Sega found themselves in with the Dreamcast. Remember that? When they came out, they were like, "Oh, we're beyond this set of systems. We're the next thing." A year too early. They came out so early that it's just like they killed themselves. They overreached what they could do, and that's what Xbox is going to do if they keep up with what they're going to do. If they do this where you can't rent games, borrow games, or trade games in, then they're going to be sinking like Sega did. They'll be licensing out whatever characters they do have to Nintendo and to Sony, like Sega whores out Sonic. Sonic has done everything. Sonic's done everything under the sun besides like a rated X game, but he's done everything. He's done the Olympic games. I mean.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just had a major brain fart. I don't remember what I was going to say now.
I go up on tangents sometimes. Let's gotta get these words out of my head.
Yeah. Do what?
The voices tell me to.
All 12 of them.
That's going short, man. I got 19.
19, man. I think a few left. I think they got just tired of trying to be louder than each other.
This guy does nothing but play video games. I'm out.
Yeah, see ya. But Xbox, they're just trying to get ahead of the curve, and they're doing it all wrong.
They really are.
And
but if you listen to the words they use, though, they always, before every statement, they say, "We're not charging a fee. It's up to the publishers what they want to do. It's not us. It's the publishers." So they're making it sound like, oh, they're for us. They're on the gamer side. No, they're on the publisher side because they're allowing the publishers to say and dictate. EA said you can only have one owner. Well, here at Capcom, you can have 4 owners. How's that? How's that sound, huh?
Yeah. Oh.
But what it comes down to is the fact that the publishers want to get their hands on the secondary gaming industry, i.e., GameStop and places like GameFly where you can buy used games.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's their biggest concern. They're like, wait a second, we spent millions of dollars making this game, test driving this game for you, putting it out, promoting it, and we're only getting paid for it at one time. How is that fair? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it'd be like, say you have a Sony DVD player, you upgrade to a Blu-ray, you take that old DVD player, sit it out at your yard sale, someone buys it. Why should Sony make $1 off that sale when they already made the money the first time?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, well, we created this property. We want to get paid not only the first time, but we want to get paid the 900th time also. We want our pockets lined to the rafters.
Yeah,
but
we want a piece of that pie every
I
time.
I understand where they're coming from, because I know if I can make $1 off every transaction from a game I sold 1,000,000 times over, that'd be awesome. But it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no.
But they're trying, and they got Microsoft hornswoggled.
Well, okay. On all of this, I mean, so far what we've heard, all the news and everything. Do you think that perhaps Microsoft might surprise us in E3? Might they come in E3 and say, "Hey, look, here's what we're doing to make your lives easy"? Do you think they're going to do anything like that?
I think what they probably should do is they should probably look at all the chatter on the internet, on all the message boards, the websites, everything. Just rake it in, take notes, see what people are talking about, and maybe try to fix it to where when you do present at E3, you can say, hey, you know what? We see that fault and errors are our ways. We're actually going to try to fix this. We're going to do that. We're going to implement this, take this out. Make it seem like, no, they're not locked head on in this one idea of what the Xbox One is. If they can come out and say, hey, you know what? We're wrong. This isn't going to work. We're sorry. This is what's going to happen. That'd be great. Realistically, probably not. You know how these companies are. They'll never admit we're wrong. Oh, no, we knew what was going on, but what did we do? Look over here. Look over here now.
The way I see it, I don't think they will fix anything they've said in the reveal or in the past couple of weeks since the reveal. I think what will end up happening is later on down the road, they'll end up going, well, we're going to give this to you at a cheaper price. We're doing a patch on your Xbox, so you don't have to be always online or whatever. They're not going to straight out say, well, we were wrong. We were wrong.
Well, right now, as is, it hasn't even hit the market yet, but it's already $50 more than the PS4 is going to be. It's sitting at $399 right now, the Xbox One, where the PS4 is sitting at $349.
Is that? Oh, I see. I haven't gotten any price points or anything yet, so I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I got that from the Time article again.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
See, I've been seeing rumor that possibly around $500, and I really didn't understand why the rumors were swirling around $500. $500 is a bit too much to lay down on a console in general.
The only way I can see them asking us to pay that kind of money for the Xbox One is if the fact that they have the Blu-ray technology in their systems, they have to license that from Sony because Sony owns the Blu-ray brand.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be, if that's the true case of the price point being $500, and yes, that could be a part of it. But I don't think that's it. I don't think that's going to come out at $500. If it does, they're going to get hurt. They're going to be hurting real bad, especially with what the stuff we're looking at here on the release from today's information.
Yeah, and that's kind of like for instance, prime example on the pricing like that is like the PlayStation Vita. They brought out the Vita at $250 and $300 for the Wi-Fi model and the 3G model respectively.
Right.
Now, like I don't know. I haven't seen anything on a price drop on that, but the thing about all of that is that's been like hurting their sales. Like the Vita has some great titles, has some great games, but a lot of people are being realistic about it and saying, I can't put down $300 on this to
Right.
play one game I might only play. You know, so as soon as it came out in Japan, as soon as the price drop hit Japan, boom, it actually outsold the 3DS in that month. So that's going to be the same way with these consoles. If they don't price them right, forget it. It doesn't matter if you have an exclusive Call of Duty on it. You're not going to sell it. You're not going to be able to move that product.
No, definitely not. I mean, in order for them to be able to say, we're going to charge you $500, the only way they can justify that is if it comes bundled with some extraordinary, like, free 6 months of Xbox Live, for free, a couple of Blu-ray titles, a couple of inbox exclusive titles, something like that. Something that kind of more distribute the cost, make the cost worth the value. Like, I don't know if you remember back in the day when the TurboGrafx 16 or the Neo Geo, when they came out, they were like $600 a piece, and it was like at a time when you can go buy a Sega Genesis brand new with Sonic the Hedgehog for like $150. You know, it was crazy. They basically shot themselves in the foot by saying, "Oh, we're so much better than blah 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 and blah blah blah. Here, pay us this much." No.
Yeah.
A lot of people said no. I don't think so. I can get a Sega 32X for $10 and like games for a quarter. What?
Exactly. That's one thing they really have to get right. I mean, even Xbox, if they keep everything the way they do now with the online once every 24 hours, the used games the way they are, they're really going to have to get that pricing right too if they even want to, make some good sales on it, because you're still going to have people that's going to go out and be like, oh, I forever Xbox, I love Xbox. But they're going to end up losing people, with that. And so if they sell this thing for $500, they're going to lose just everybody.
Yeah. Well, now, do you think that maybe Microsoft is doing this to kind of do away with the physical software, where instead of having a physical copy of the game, they can just go strictly, downloadable, or Xbox Arcade, where that's the only place you can get the games?
God, I hope not.
I've heard a lot of things where they're testing, like, trying to phase out physical games. They just want to make it to where it's all digital, where everything's downloaded from the internet, or maybe you can go to a GameStop with a blank disc, stick it into the system there, and it downloads the game to the disc for you, and you take it home, and it downloads from the disc onto your system.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, all this stuff that they're doing, like sharing games, no sharing games, and all that stuff, it could be I don't know, I'm not saying it is, but it could be a step in the direction of no more physical copies, all digital, where they can still charge you $60 for a game, but they're not putting out anything in boxes or anything. This promotions. It's like they just to charge for promotion. They got $60. Boom, shalak.
Yeah. Well, even I had even read, speaking of that the games for the Xbox One are going to be like install only. Like, you buy the disc and you literally have to go and install it first, like every game. So, that's I think one way that they are trying to phase out physical copies. You're right on that. A shame, really. Being a collector and everything, or ex-collector.
Exactly. Well, you're still out your collection, so you're still a collector technically.
Yeah. But
hey, keep the tile as long as you can.
Go ahead.
Keep that title as long as you can. Until the last game sells, you're still a collector.
Still a collector.
I don't care if it's a really good copy of Toe Jam and Earl. You're still a collector.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Toe Jam and Earl, mind you. That's a great game. But
those are actually the only Sega Genesis games I still have, are Toe Jam and Earl 1 and Toe Jam and Earl, the second one, I can't remember what it's called.
Panic on Funkatron.
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 Yeah,
No,
those are the only Genesis games I still got. Now you have a Genesis anymore.
yeah, I'm gonna dread getting rid of this collection. I know I have to do what I have to do, but oh
But
well.
it's not permanent.
Do what?
It's not permanent.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
might get
Well,
to it 5, 10, 20 years from now, you know?
yeah, find a big lot of just a bunch of games for super cheap. I don't know.
It's kind of hard to do. Yeah.
But you were talking about phasing out physical copies of games and everything like that. And since we're on the topic of these consoles and everything, have you heard about the Ouya or the Mad Catz Mojo?
No, actually, I have not.
Okay, the Ouya. This is a neat bit of hardware that actually started out as a Kickstarter project.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It still was $99.
yeah. To anybody who's listening or watching, what the Ouya is basically an Android-powered console about the size of a Rubik's Cube,
Yeah.
and you can play Android games on it. You can buy like what's that game, Shadow Gunner, and so on, and play it on your TV. It's $99, and that comes out this month. GameStop's been taking pre-orders, Best Buy's taking pre-orders, but now just today I read that Mad Catz is coming out with a rival for that called the Mojo. Yeah, it's Mojo, and there's a period at the end of each letter, so I don't know what Mojo stands for, but what they're doing is kind of the same thing as the Ouya. They said it's smaller than the Ouya, and it'll actually be able to play any of the Android games, period, that are on the Android market. See, there's certain titles on the Ouya that come out that has to be made for the Ouya. This Mojo, you can grab any of the games you have on your phone, any of the games that you might have downloaded, you can actually play those straight up on the Mojo. So there's that. So I'm wondering if this is starting a new kind of gaming trend, if you will.
It very well could be. I mean, a lot of people are probably getting sick and tired of being gouged by the manufacturers of the big three. And Android games are anywhere from 99 cents a game to $4, $5, $6 each. None of them are more than $20, I don't think. And if you can do that, download an Android game and play it at home on a TV, I don't see why you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, I personally like playing games on my phone. I've got a few different choice picks on here that I would love to play on my TV and play as a console game. Two examples for me personally would be a game called Game Dev Story. I don't know if you've ever played that or heard of that one.
No, I haven't.
It's a neat little game. It's a little sim game, and what you do is you are running a video game development company. You got to hire people on to come in. You might hire somebody for graphics or sound or storyline or whatever, and then you got to come up with these different styles of games. So you have let's say you want to create an action. You choose from two different categories. You got action, and then you go and pick like a action ninja game. And either you could pick a really good category like that, or you can pick one where it's like board game ninja game, and it's an awful pick, so people don't buy it up as much as soon as you develop it, and so you don't make as much money. But that game's so addicting because you're trying to find those categories that work and make more money to make the next game, and they have like a little gaming award ceremony in it to see if you win best game of the year. Or they have like a little E3 show almost where you can hire booth babes and so on to try to market your game. So there's that game, and then there's a game called Dead Trigger. It's a first-person shooter, a zombie shooter, and just fantastic for it being on a phone. How about you? Any standout titles that you played on phone that perhaps would be great as a console game?
Let me just go take a peek at my phone real quick. I don't play a lot of games on my phone. I play mostly on my Kindle Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I were to pick a Kindle Fire game, I would say Angry Grand Run. Have you played that one yet?
No, I haven't. I've seen so many posts from you on Facebook about this though.
Yeah, it tapped into my Facebook, and so now every time I fart in the wind on that game, it posts like, "Oh, Brent, fart in the wind. Come fart in the wind with Brent. Download now." So
It's funny. I'll be at work and I'll check my Facebook and it'll show like 3 or 4 posts from you. It's like I achieved this score. Oh no, it's okay. I'm just like It's funny because that's the first time I've ever been like, well, if Retarded by Choice is playing that, I might have to try it.
It's actually fun. One of my friend's daughters, of all things, right? This 11-year-old girl, she plays this thing all the time. I'm like, what you playing?
Angry Grandma Run?
Is it cool?
It's pretty cool.
Okay. So I've been playing that like religiously the last 3 or 4 days, and it's like I gotta beat my score. It's pretty fun. And it's a very unrealistic game. Your angry grandmother running through the streets where there's giant flopping fish, giant holes in the pavement, cars rushing by, people running around with huge window panes of glass. You gotta slide under or jump around, and basically you just do that relentlessly till you can get your high score or the most amount of money or whatnot.
Gotcha.
I play Song Pop a lot on my iPhone.
Yeah.
Basically, it's this music trivia. You play a little sample of a song, you gotta try to guess it the quickest.
Yeah, I played that for maybe about a week on Facebook, and then I don't know what happened. I just kind of stopped.
Yeah, it gets kind of old. I have like 19 games I'm in the middle of right now, and it's just way too many.
Yeah.
I don't have all this time to be sitting around playing games on my phone when I can be playing games on my TV.
Yeah, I think the only game I've ever really lost myself in, like a lot of these games I'll play whenever I'm on the go, but the only game I've ever lost like hours in was Game Dev Story, where I'll be sitting here, I'm like, oh, dang, I started playing this at 9 o'clock this morning, here it is, midnight, crap. No wonder why I felt like I needed to charge my phone 4 times,
I was supposed to be at work 12 hours ago.
Oh, shit.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Damn you, Game Dev Story.
Damn new technology.
For real. But gotcha. Yeah, I'm actually downloading the Angry Grand Run right now. It looks like one of those endless runners.
It is an endless runner with a bunch of unrealistic things you gotta run across, jump across, or slide under.
Gotcha.
It'll kill some fun. I mean, I sat here, I think yesterday, I played for like 2 hours straight. I'm like, oh my god, I'm just been staring at this screen for 2 hours.
My eyes burn.
So I turned it off and turned on my Borderlands 2.
There you go. And I think another game that I've done that with a few weeks ago. I was gone for a little bit and I'd taken my Vita with me, and one game that they put up on there was Jetpack Joyride. And I didn't even know what Jetpack Joyride was until it came out as a free-to-play game on the Vita. And a couple hours had passed, and I realized I was already at home. Like I almost don't remember the ride home or anything, and I'm still sitting here playing Jetpack Joyride because I'm trying to get coins to get another jetpack. And I'm just like, holy crap!
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. There's certain games that'll do that to me where you're kind of like in a trance state. You know things are going on around you, but they're not as important what's going on in the palm of your hand.
Yeah. My wife, I remember her going, "Having fun?" Yeah.
Yeah. That's really fun. Yeah.
It's like just one more run. It's 20 games later.
Always just one more.
Yeah, that's our excuse as gamers. One more.
It used to be back in the day, like I gotta get to this one point where I can get the code. I can't stop playing because if I stop now, I gotta start all over again. Now it's like I gotta wait till I get to a save point.
Yeah, my uncle, he was such a bastard when it would come to this, because I remember I had a Nintendo, but he would always get the coolest games, you know. And I swear, any game, it didn't matter what it was. If it was a different game, it was the coolest game, okay? Because I had never played it. And we'd go over to, you know, my grandmother's house. My uncle was still a little bit on the younger side, you know. I mean, he's 9 years older than me, but you know, you get the idea. So he was probably like 18 by the time I was 9. You know, you think about it, and I can remember playing Mega Man for the first time. My mom and dad were like, "Okay, come on, time to go, time to go." You know, and I'm like, "No, let me just kill this last boss. Let me kill one more boss." No, come on, let's go. And my uncle, he'd go over to the Nintendo, and he'd put his finger about this far away from the power button, and he'd go 5, 4, 3, and I'm going, no, wait, no, 2, no, 1, no. And he shut it off. I go, oh. So it's horrible. It's traumatized me as a gamer.
Oh, I know. I remember being a kid, having my NES set up, and I'd be playing before school, and all of a sudden I gotta get to the bus quick. So I pause the game, turn off the TV, leave the NES on all day.
Yeah.
They come home like, bonk. Okay, good. It's only 85 degrees in my bedroom in the middle of winter. Who cares?
I swear I did that so many times with the NES, and if it's one time I remember that I kept it on for about 2 weeks straight, I think it was. My buddy had lended me the Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo, but the battery was dead in it. So that game stayed like permanently in that, and I never, like, my sister would come bouncing around and playing and everything, and I'd be like, stay away from the Super Nintendo, stay away from there, stay away from there. You know, because I mean, you know, those games, you bump them and so long game pretty much.
Exactly.
So
Not the most stable of systems. They weren't.
No.
But they were a bunch of fun.
So we've already gone over almost over an hour already, and I'm wanting to kind of keep it a little short so people can, you know, come and enjoy the show without going, oh my God, this is 4 hours long. So
what are they talking about now?
Yeah, they are no longer talking about what they said they were. What the hell? How did we get on talking about recipes? What the hell? Anyway, what are you most excited about? Let's kind of cap this off with what are you most excited about the E3 this upcoming week?
Honestly, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. I don't know anything about what's coming out right now. I'm kind of keep myself out of the loop because I mean, I'll show you. I got a stack of games that I have not even touched yet that I've had for some months.
Gotcha. Holy crap.
I have all these games like that's something you go through. Right now, I've been obsessed with Borderlands 2. I'm playing that religiously. Every time I finish one thing, another expansion comes out, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get it. So,
I gotta keep playing. Here's a reason to keep that game in my Xbox.
I think it's only come out once since beginning of the year, and that was because I was playing Walking Dead. I was playing the Walking Dead game.
Gotcha. Man, you have more conviction than I do. For some reason, I swear I have video game ADD. Like, I'll buy a new game, and then I'll set it down, and I won't pick it back up. I bought Soul Sacrifice on the Vita, like, last week or something like that, and I've only played it maybe 2 hours total so far, and I went to go play it today, and I'm just like, nah, I don't want to play it right now.
No, I usually have the same thing. I'm usually ADD when it comes to games. I'll start playing for a second, I'm like, this is okay, let's try this other one now. But then my stack, of course, got that tall, and I'm like, okay, focus on one game, finish it, start another. Well, I should probably wait for Borderlands 2 because this has been in my, like I said, it's been in my Xbox religiously. It's like, it'd be sacrilegious to even think about taking it out.
Because there's also the possibility that if you take the game out of the Xbox, it won't go back in there for a while when you're trying to actually beat it.
Well, I've already beaten it twice. I'm still playing it. That's what it gets you. There's 5 different classes. I'm only beating the game on one class twice. I'm still not at the level cap yet.
If I'm correct, that's the Gunzerker, right?
Gunzerker. Yep.
I don't know where I saw that. I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was something on Facebook. I know you're on Rapture, and I see it saying that you're playing Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2.
It's
So.
awesome. Awesome. For you, I see it's that you're always playing Rift.
Rift, yeah. Here lately, it's been Rift. It's actually going totally free to play on Tuesday, I believe. So there's going to be a lot more Rift in my near future because I have a capped out character on there I haven't been able to touch since I let my subscription go.
Right.
There's that. But I have so many games, like I even bought Far Cry 3 and I'm wanting to beat that, and it's just the only thing I've done so far is play multiplayer with another YouTuber you might know, Scuba Diver Picker.
I know.
Yeah, so him and I actually play some of that. We haven't lately. We really need to again, but that and Modern Warfare 2 of all weird things. But I've got so many games like Arkham City I haven't finished yet, and I'm just going, what the
Arkham City, dude?
I have not beat Arkham City.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you, sir?
I know, and I'm already excited for Arkham Origins to come out.
You see that trailer for that? The trailer looked awesome, dude.
Him fighting Deathstroke and everything like that? Oh, yeah.
I saw that, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
My God.
When they showed the teaser, it was just those two fighting for just a few split seconds, and I'm just like, I saw that, I stopped, and I was like, that's it? I want more. What?
I want more now.
What the hell? Yeah. It made me actually go and play Injustice, as Batman versus Deathstroke. I was like, come on, let's do this. What's this going to be like? So.
Now, I got a question for you real quick before we go too much deeper. Injustice, for, against, what do you think?
Love it. Love Injustice.
Is this a straightforward beat 'em up, or is it got some story to it?
It has a great story to it, actually. Have you played the Mortal Kombat that came out on the Xbox and the PS3 and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, the story's kind of like that. There's fights in between the storytelling. They've got a great story about a parallel dimension where Superman, I'm not going to give much away. This is the very basis of the story here. Superman is trying to stop the Joker at one point. The Joker sets off a nuclear bomb in Metropolis and kills Lois, and sends Superman off the deep end. He ends up killing... Yeah, he kills Joker. At the beginning of the dang game. I ain't gonna lie, okay? That's spoiler, I know, but that is the very first thing you see in there, and Superman just basically turns evil and turns all these superheroes into a regime. It's just, if you're not with Superman, you're against him and you're gonna die. So
very Joseph Stalin-ish.
Yeah, well, in the process of this other dimension, I guess the real dimension trying to stop Joker from setting off this nuke, they cause a rift to open and send some of them over to this alternate dimension. So it's parallel dimension Batman and the parallel dimension Superman and Aquaman and all that trying to stop the evil versions of themselves and everything. Turns out in this big epic, just kind of grand story, and it's a must play through. If you like the Mortal Kombat games and you like DC, it's a must.
Oh, damn it. I guess I gotta pick up another game. Classic.
Hey, I'm just telling it as it is. And they just brought out some news the other day that one of the DLCs coming up, they're bringing Scorpion from Mortal Kombat into it. Yes, and they have the guy that did all of the art and everything for Injustice, he did a revamp on Scorpion of what he looks like. So now instead of his normal gi and everything, his gi looks kind of like a scorpion. in one of the pictures it showed his hook hanging out, and it was like the scorpion's tail. It kind of looked like that. His mask just looks really cool. They showed a whole video of him fighting Superman, like in game, and yeah, I was like, I have to get this downloadable content. Like, I've never been more excited for a DLC ever, I don't think.
DLC, man, it's come a long way from what it used to be back in the day. Now, man, it's whole new chapters, new storylines, new characters, outfits, moves, everything and anything under the sun, man. It was just great because it really opens up games. Like, if you're playing a game like Skyrim, it's already a 70-plus hour game. Then you get DLC on top of that, it's like another 20 or 30 hours per DLC, which is great. It makes the story go on forever and ever and ever, and it just never stops.
Exactly, and that's one thing. That's whenever a game really, is worth what you pay for. You $60, I don't know, but then they get this DLC. Yeah, you pay $15 extra maybe for it, but you get 20 more hours of content. That's more than an hour's worth per dollar. And
I mean, now when you buy individual outfits for individual characters, that's just gouging the customer to get more bang.
Yeah. When really you don't pay attention to the costumes, whatever, that much in the games, and just.
Right. Or if you're playing a game like Borderlands 2, it's all first person. Everything's in first person except for when you die, you come back, you see your character for a second, and then go right back in first person.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you got the blue alternate top to your Gunzerker or you got the purple Mohawk. It doesn't matter. You can't see it anyway.
And that's what I thought when it was first like, change the way your character looks. And it was like, well, okay, I guess. Just give me the Gunzerker.
Right. A game like Saints Row, that'd be a good feature to have, to be able to buy these different outfits. But when you're playing first person and you're in first person view, you can't change it from first to third or anything like that. It makes no difference. I mean, it honestly doesn't. It's just an extra $4 out of your pocket that you really don't need to be spending on a outfit or a haircut or a shoelace or whatever.
Exactly. That's whenever DLC just becomes a question of why. I think, speaking of great DLCs, if there's one DLC that I'm really, I haven't even bought yet, but I'm so anxious to go and buy it because I've tried the demo out. Have you heard of the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon?
No, I haven't really gotten into the Far Cry series. I had the first one for the 360 a few years ago, but I just couldn't get into it.
Gotcha. This one you might want to take a look at. What this is, Blood Dragon is it's a DLC, but at the same time it's you don't need the actual Far Cry 3 game to play this. This is all its own game using the Far Cry 3 engine. And what it is it's a love letter to 80s action movies. Yeah, and I'm talking the main character is voiced by Michael Biehn from the first Terminator, Kyle Reese. He voices this character, and he's like a mercenary cyborg, not cyborg, but he's got cybernetic implants and everything, and he's just really the badass talking type of action character, and at the beginning, he's flying around in a helicopter in a Black Hawk, and there's one point whenever him and another guy go and do kind of like a handshake like that, and it shows their biceps, and they both go, and like from Predator, and the game, I'm talking, it doesn't take itself seriously, and that's the fun of it, because in the background, it's got one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a while, because it's those 80s synth beats, and there's one theme in there that sounds just like such a ripoff of the Terminator theme.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I swear, if there was one more beat to it, it would be Terminator. When you first start out, one thing that had me just rolling was, it's telling you how to play the game, and basically Michael Biehn's operator turns on his tutorial mode where he's like, oh, come on now, you know, and he's sitting there just griping the entire time as this tutorial is going through. It's like, push A to jump. He's like, come on, I know how to do this shit. Come on, you know, and the whole time he's griping, it's just, it makes you laugh, you know, throughout the whole process of the game. It's like that. I'm talking every time he does like a stealth kill, he's got something, he has some cheesy 80-ish one-liner. But it's also cool because you can like run up behind somebody, grab them, and then if you like push like the right bumper button, he'll throw shurikens at guys that are close to him, you know, and do instant kills on them with shurikens and so on. And it's a must for anybody who really digs those 80s action movies and got a kick out of them because
enjoyed, you know, Big Trouble in Little China.
Exactly. I swear they got a lot of references from that, and then, you know, action movies like Terminator and Predator, and just how macho those characters were, and yeah. So there was something else I was going to say about it. I can't remember, but yeah, it for $15, like I had posted something on Facebook, and I said, "Oh, I'm sitting here playing Far Cry. You know, this game is so badass." And another YouTuber, Xander Scullion, he had posted. He's like, "Oh, it's so cool! It oozes blue goo." I was like, "This game is so badass that if a woman looks at it, she gets pregnant instantly. It's so badass that Chuck Norris played it and wept, then set the difficulty to easy." So play the demo if you haven't. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.
I'm gonna have to. Now, before we get too much further in this tangent we're on, what were your look forwards or picks of the upcoming E3?
Yeah, I really want to know what Sony's gonna do, because.
For sure, they're gonna show it on at E3 this year.
Yes, their reveal is at the E3. Yeah, so we got a couple days for it. But see, for me, I'm always the person that kind of needs to know what's going to happen. For me, if like Xbox is already given, I'm not getting the Xbox One. Maybe later on down the road when they finally do that patch, it says it doesn't need to be online always or whatever, you know. But for now, no. I'm not a Nintendo fan. Like, I have a 3DS, but I didn't like the Wii. I don't like the Wii U. You know, as much as I've tried to like it, and so I don't want to get a Wii U. And so basically, the PlayStation 4 is the last bastion for me of modern gaming. If they fumble with this, then I'm done with modern gaming, really.
No, I'm with you on that, sir, because, like I said, between the Nintendo, between the PS4 and the Xbox One, right now none of them's looking too grandiose for me. If the PS4 comes out and it's the complete 180 from what Xbox One is, then yes, I will go back to PlayStation. I've been away from PlayStation since PS2. But if they can do what the Xbox can't, I'll go back over. I hate to do that, but I will. You know?
Yeah, and you know, as you were talking about a little while ago, you know, it's getting old when you'll go and buy a new game. I mean, I'm talking, it just came out, midnight release. You go and pop it in, and it's like, oh, you need to update.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, well, fine, update. And then you get those, well, maybe not so rare anymore, but it's update, and it's, you know, 200, 300 megabytes, and you're sitting there waiting for a little bit, and you're just like, I just want to play this game. I don't care about this update right now. But you're left sitting there waiting because, oh, well, there was an update because they didn't get something on the disc in time to, you know. So,
put a certain gun in there.
Yeah. So, like I said, the PlayStation 4 reveal for me is going to make or break if I continue playing modern games or not.
Right.
It's kind of sad.
They're doing it to themselves, and we're not doing it to them. They're doing it to themselves.
Yeah.
They really are. if they just took an eighth of what us gamers are saying and took it to heart and put it into the systems, then they'd have a loyal legion of customers. You wouldn't have people jump ship every other year or so because of this or that. No, but these companies, they have their focus groups, and basically they take what they want to hear from the focus groups. Say, oh, they love us. Okay, great. But you can only rely on self-serving words so long, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, it's just gonna force me to go back and play the classics. Keep or find another Super Nintendo and play those, because those to me are infinitely enjoyable and way harder than modern games.
Well, because modern games have automatic saves, or you can save some games you can save whenever you want. Like, oh, I'm getting shot in the head right now. Let's save it.
Oh God! Especially, like, I can give a perfect example of that on the PC. When I played the first Max Payne, it was like autosave, hit F9. So just before a gunfight, oh, hit F9. Oh, I got shot during that. I better go and quick load it. It's not a challenge anymore. And
it's not a challenge, but you know what? If I had the option to save back in the day on, say, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I sure the hells would.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times I got my ass beat by, Ball Bull.
Yes, especially his Bull Rush move. Oh God.
I could never dodge that thing. In the 25 years since that game came out, I can't dodge that stupid move. I know how to do it. I've read how to do it. I've seen people do it. I know how it's done. I just can't do it.
It's 50-50 for me. Either I hit it or I don't, and it's just it's still, being this far along with the game and playing it for years, it's still a hard one for me to catch. So on my phone, for instance, I have like every Nintendo game and every Super Nintendo game on an emulator on there. And one thing I did was I got to Mike Tyson on there, and I have a state saved right at Mike Tyson, and I have yet to beat him on the phone. I don't know if it's perhaps because the touchscreen is not as touchy with this emulator or what, but he kicks my ass every time, and it's gotten beyond frustrating.
Yeah, he's the one puncher down. That's it. There's no TKO. It's just out.
Yeah, you're done. That's it. So
yeah.
Well, anyway, I guess we better wrap this up. This is just perfect for another broadcast or whatever. Yeah,
I'm down. I'm free most nights. So whenever you have some time, let me know. We'll do some research, get some topics.
Yeah, definitely. Just anytime you see something, just jot it down, and we can definitely discuss it. So anyway, thanks for answering the Facebook PM so quickly and being on here tonight. I really wanted to do some talking tonight, and I really appreciate you jumping on and saying, hey, yeah, we could do that, definitely.
I was ready to come up to the big leagues.
Yeah. So thanks a bunch, Retarded by Choice. Definitely anybody, if you haven't watched his channel, check him out. Obviously, like I said, Retarded by Choice. Once this gets published, I'll have a link in the description below. And, of course, watch my videos. I'm working on more. Real quick, I want to plug something I'm actually working on. I'm working on a new series called Do You Remember? And what it's going to be is it's going to take some of these more obscure games that perhaps you might not have seen or you just kind of missed, and going to kind of display them. It isn't going to be so much of a good or bad review. It's just going to talk about it. It's going to say, oh yeah, here's what was good about it, here's what was bad about it. But it could be a really kind of crappy game. It could be a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but I'll still sit there and talk about it and my experiences with it or whatever. And I guess I'll give it out real quick. My first episode is going to be on the arcade game Time Killers.
Ah, nice.
I don't know if you've ever played that one.
Time Killers, yeah. Did they have a spin-off, Time Crisis?
Time Crisis? No. This was a fighting game. This was a this came out in I think it was '92, and it was after Street Fighter 2 and around about the time Mortal Kombat came out. It was the first game I'd ever seen that actually was a fighter with weapons. So during a battle, you could lop off an enemy's arm or even their head.
Yes, I know that game. I have spent so many quarters in that at the arcade.
And
I thought it was awesome.
It was the worst whenever you would start out a round and somebody would chop your head off, like right at the beginning of the round, and there's your quarter. That's it.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. That
So,
is so cheesed.
yeah. So I'm doing my first episode on that. I've already done I'm still working on the edit of that, but I've done I did all the writing. I've done all the voiceover for it. Now I'm just doing a little bit more because I think I told you, or I've talked about on Facebook, I'm going to be building an arcade cabinet here soon.
Yeah.
And I've been excited, so excited that my old laptop. Let me show you this. I actually took. And I'm actually, let me see if I can turn that right. I've actually had this standing up as an arcade cabinet right now. So I've got my arcade stick down here. I'll just come in, I'll leave Galaga on it, and come in and just push start every so often and play that. So I've been using that to do some of the time killer stuff as well. So.
You said it's going to be about 6 weeks before you get that cabinet completed.
I'm hoping it might be a little less because I'm actually about to order the controller card. It's called an iPack card that takes all the leads from the buttons, puts it into this card, and the card outputs to a USB. So you just plug it into the computer and you're good to go. I'm about to order that whole bundle, the joysticks and the buttons. It's going to cost me a little over $100 for that. And then all I'll really need is just the wood to build the cabinet. So I'm ordering all that first bundle not this weekend but next weekend. So I'm real excited. And as I've said in my last video, I'm going to have my dad here with me to unveil the machine and everything for my channel. So, real excited. Going to show some old games. So, anyway, once again, thank you everybody for listening, for watching. Like I said, there's going to be more definitely to come because the way I see it, I like discussing this old stuff. Old games, new games, and a lot of the news that comes out, there's always, I can go to IGN when I get home from work, and there's always pages and pages of new stuff that's happened throughout the day.
Always.
Yeah. So, anyway, thanks again, man, for being here, and hopefully we'll do this really, really soon.
Yeah, I would love to do that, dude.
All right, man. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks again to everybody for watching, and until next time.
Peace.